Happy New Day. Peace, kings, queens, gods, goddesses. Today we embark on a revolutionary journey to help shift the consciousness of humanity. We created a new system. It's called the universal language of light. The universal language of light been around for many years, but the system that we bought is a new system that matches the resonance of the vibration for today in this new age of Aquarius. So at this time, I have created a new system, and the system would allow you to have an understanding of what's going on from day to day, as far as what colors to wear, what metals and crystals to wear, what organs, which your bones and your heart, kidney, spleen, pancreas is being affected for that day, what resonant numbers for that day, what chakra is relevant for that day. All of these are harmonial balance of the universe matching your resonant frequency, because a lot of people is out of time and out of balance because they following the computer system. They following the digital clock. They wake up off the clock, they go to sleep off the clock. Everything is a computer system, and then they trapped in the government system. They got IDs, they got birth certificates, and they acting out the ID and the birth certificate as if it's them, when it's the corporation of the United States that's using them for their time and for their energy. And then they get caught up into the school system, to where they go to school, they come home, they do the same thing. They go to school, they get a job, and that's the American way. They teach you to go to school, get a job, work for somebody, and let them drain the energy. But in all reality, the United States is a corporation, and that corporation only need your energy to work for them, so that way they could channel your universal energy and create you into a cyborg, which is a robot. They have you following their systems, going to sleep off their clock, and you're not on the universal time anymore. So when you go through school, you go through preschool, you go through kindergarten, you go through junior high, grade school, junior high, and high school, only to be taught common sense, so that way you won't decree before you get older, and you will have enough common sense to work for them, and then they could take your biological energy and make you a slave by taking your sovereignty and making you be a monetary slave to work for their corporation and pay taxes on current, which is money. Currency is energy. So the money you earn, they making you pay a percentage of taxes, which you owe no one anything. So that means you moonlighting, because you working for two corporations, the one that hired you in the United States corporation. So that's their only purpose for sending you to school. I bet you they won't let them parents not let them kids go to school. If your kids don't go to school, you get in trouble. And they not doing that for the sake of the kids. They only doing that so the kids won't grow up to be incompetent, and they'll have enough sense to get a job and work for their corporation, so they can continue to enslave their generation from generation to generation. That's the pattern. That's the matriarch. And that's what they put together to inbound and suppress your subconscious. And everyone is falling for it because they don't see it. And that means that when you don't see things like that, my friend, that means that you are asleep. That your mind is already programmed to follow a pattern that your body created. So now your body is stuck in a bio pattern that you can't even escape, because your mind, body, and spirit is on different accords. People are unhealthy, meaning they have certain problems and disease that's going on. And then if your body is not healthy, then your mind can't be healthy. So the whole key to this whole thing is to bring your body, your mind, and your spirit, with your body, soul, mind, and spirit on one accord. So that way you will be vibrating on one energy cycle, and you will be able to do the things that you're supposed to do. Nowadays, most people are not walking in essence because they have one thing and don't have the other. And a lot of people are not aligned with the universal flow of energy because their chakras are out of balance. So the number one thing with actually becoming aligned with the universal energy is balancing your chakras, because the chakras are the center points in your body that control the meridians, and the meridians are the pressure points in your body that connect to all your joints, and they also connect to all the nerve and the tendons and everything. So your eyes allow your ears to hear, because your eyes convert vibration into sound. So if your ecosystem in your body is off, then your biofunction is not going to behave properly. So now you have a dysfunctional immune system, because your immune system is attached to the solar system, which is the points in the world, from the heaven and below, up and down, left, right. So you govern it by energy fields, and the energy fields around you create the vibration. So everything is a program, and is a matrix. The matrix is a number pattern. Everything is numbers. So your matrix fields are being controlled and manipulated by your vision, because you don't have no vision. So a lot of people are being controlled right now. Where can you get this info? This info is coming from my heart. It's not nothing I read or anything. I'm a 22 and I'm a master builder. And plus I understand this reality. We are the architects of this reality. And this reality is shaped on numbers, pictures, vibration. It's three trinities: light, frequency, and sound. You have emotion, and you have sight. Then you have five senses. You could taste, you could smell, you could hear, you could see, you could touch. And then you actually have six, which is the third eye. So all of these things need to be heightened on the quantum level. So most people are not at their quantum point because their cellular DNA is being reconstrued, meaning that, you know, proteins create this reality. Our body work off proteins and minerals, and this reality is created off of vibration and light. So our body have 84 aminos in it, and you're only using 65. Those are the nucleus. Nucleus create genes and chromosomes and cells. So right now, people nucleus is being remanufactured through GMO, and then it's not allowing their genetic system to quantum and synchronize with the energy fields, because their molecular system is off. So right now, we trying to get everybody back to where they need to be, because we have codons and taxions in the body, and those codons and taxions create nitrous oxide, and they create the proteins that you see. Proteins create this reality. Proteins turn off and on genes genetically. So when they created this GMO protein, they knew how to turn off your 12-strand DNA. So it's called the mitochondria, and they started turning off your genetic DNA by giving you genetic proteins that do the opposite. So they turned off a lot of vision that we had, that we was once enlightened, because the photon is a electromagnetic charge, which is a eon, and the photon and the eon create an atom, and the atom is a physical object that you could see. So right now, people are not conducting electricity at their full magnitude, because the brain has receptors and the brain is able to conduct electricity. But if you're not eating properly, you're not carrying enough electrolytes in your blood that would allow ohms to go out into the universe to give you an aura that's felt universally, that allow you to create. So a lot of people is not conducting the proper electricity in their body to even go into a whole nother reality or a whole nother dimension. And then they thinking is already being manipulated, because they was given the Trojan horse, which is the television. And the television already gave you different realities that's false. So a lot of people are caught up in the false reality that they not even aware of. So it's time to wake up, really, to be honest with you, and start realizing what this reality is about, and that you create your own universe the moment you wake up and start realizing that you're being programmed. Because a lot of people are being programmed right now and don't even know it. And they swear up and down that they not being programmed, but the program is already programmed, and the program is already not in agreement, because the program is already used to what it's regularly do, and that's the same pattern every day. So we got to change that. When you start waking up and you realize that numbers create this reality and not the pictures, because the numbers is what's giving the pictures the geological construct to even be a photon, which is a picture, charged energy, just molecules brought together on the molecular level, creating a charge of energy that allow you to see the light, and the light create vision, because it start allowing you to see from your optic, which is the retina and the lenses in your eyes. So you start seeing this reality, and you start understanding that this reality is a false matrix. There is a lot of matrix. Everything is a matrix, because a matrix is a chronological order of numbers that act out a specific action. That's what a matrix is. So a lot of people are caught up in the matrix because they don't understand. Hey, so when you start waking up and realizing that you in the matrix, you start learning how to control the matrix, because you take control of your body, you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your time, which is numbers. You start taking control of your health, taking control of your freedom and your free will to think about whatever you want. So when you start getting to that point, then you become sovereign. And sovereign means free energy, free flow, free will, to be free to take form on any level you want. So you want to become sovereign. And if you're not sovereign, then that means that you are a citizen. And if you're a citizen, that means that you are civilized to a certain system that's going to bound your thinking, that won't allow you to think freely and to be as a being. To be a being mean to be in a certain state, a state of tranquility, a state of freedom, a state of resonance, a state of balance, and a state of synchronicity. That's what you want to move to. You want to move to your highest self. You want to move to the highest level of vibration that you possibly can as a being in your light body. And the only way you're going to do that is if you're able to reprogram the matrix system that they already got you caught up into. So we created a new system, and it's called the Universal Language of Light. And this universal language of light is a system that'll allow you to synchronize your energy with the flow of the energy. We don't say good morning no more. We say happy new day. So morning could be whatever, but we just get out of saying morning. Some people think morning is death. Some people look at it like that. But I just look at, and that's not the real meaning of morning, because we were saying that in ancient time. Morning is the sun actually rising. The sun rising in the eastern hemisphere. So, and that's around 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. rather, in between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. the sun is actually rising. So the sun is in the rising phase. It's the phase of rising. But we just say happy new day. That's all, because we want to grant people in a whole nother way. It's time to start changing these systems, because those systems is the matrix system that you was caught up. The matriarch had you caught up into a system where you can't even act out your own judgment or perception. So our system would allow you to match your frequency and resonate with the earth, so that way you can live in longevity. You see what I'm saying? Because life is really, life is for real, and people take life for granted, but they don't understand what life is really about. And if you don't understand what life is about, then it's going to suck you up. And it ain't just what you see every day. It's life is an illusion, but you could control illusion, because it's just a number system, numbers that's being put into a chronological order. Most people don't even know what the golden ratio is. That God have a number, and it's 11.618. 11.618. You could look it up. Everything in the world have that same ratio. From everything, when you measure certain things in the world, they have that same ratio. And if it don't have the absolute ratio, some of those numbers is within the ratio or the measurements of a specific object, giving it the life form and the intelligence of the Most High, which is 11.168. So when you understand that, you understand the golden ratio. And then you start understanding the Fibonacci sequence, that the Fibonacci is numbers that been put into a certain chronological order to create a certain action or play out a certain gesture within this time or in future dates. So right now we dealing with a whole number system and not the reality. So most people are looking at this reality in a picture form. Like, okay, they looking at the reality as a picture. They looking at this reality as being pictures. We look at the reality as being numbers, because we understand that it's numbers. When you start getting into the number pattern of things, you start taking control of your reality. So now you got people that are asleep looking at the world as pictures, and then you got people that's woke looking at the world as numbers. And then that's the difference between being awakened. And then a lot of people get scared and say, what is the matrix? And they don't understand, and then they use the matrix every day. They counting money, they counting, they using time, they look at the clock, it's time, they look at dates, they look at all the numbers, they using numbers every day, and don't even realize that that's a matrix system, a set of numbers that's acting out a certain program, because numbers is binary, and binary is frequencies. So whenever you line numbers up, you get a certain frequency. So that's why when you put 732, 432 is the harmony. Like when they first figured out that you could stroke the C key on the keyboard, and on the keyboard, and it gives you a certain tone. You could take water and put it on something and it give you a certain sound. They started knowing that these sounds is nature, because they natural. It's like a natural algorithm. It's not nothing that's man-made or nothing that been enhanced or reproduced and stuff like that. It's just a natural occurrence. So everything we like is natural. and we move from natural to synthetic. So a lot of people are walking around with these synthetic bodies because they taking all this GMO into their body, and now they become a robot because there's so much metal and everything within these things, and that metal is getting you sick, and that's what's causing cancer and all these different things. People are their own cancer because they not listening to their mind. Like, your mind speaks to you all the time. Your thoughts speak to you. Listen to your thoughts. When you get a thought, it's your mind talking to you. And you know, people start ignoring that because they so sleep that they can't interpret the message, because they never allowed themselves to actually become more enlightened on a physical plane. And that's what the problem is. We didn't come here to die. Most people believe that they came here to die. So the only thing they do is prepare to die. They go to church to prepare to die. Then the preacher is only preaching death. He's not preaching life into you. He's not showing you how to change your life. He's showing you how to do things that was created a long time ago and follow a geological pattern that's not even going to happen. Like, those things are just reference for you to actually say, okay, this happened. I don't want to go through that lesson. It's just you learning the lesson. That's it. It's not something that's going to actually happen to you. So those are lessons. So when you get caught up into it and your mind is not stable enough, then you focus more on what someone showed you or what they saying, and then you make it become your life because you don't have no vision beyond what people say. You're not creating your own vision. So when you're not creating your own vision, then you're not in control of your own reality at this point. Someone is navigating for you. And the navigation that they giving you don't match the quantum fields around you. And then now you start getting a dis-ease because it's too much going on and you're not focused. And that's the problem, because now your bio clock is out of order. You have a bio clock. Everybody have a biology clock, a clock that works with nature. So right now we started figuring out how to lengthen the lifespan. So it's 3 genes in the body that allow a person to extend life. And I learned what 3 genes need to be enhanced by what herbs. And like I said, I'm creating a new protein, and the new protein is going to activate those 3 genes that have been turned off. And we figured out why people catch diabetes, because the same gene that been turned off is responsible for pushing the insulin from the pancreas up through the blood, and the blood and carrying the nutrients through the blood. That's the work of the pancreas, is to push the insulin through the blood and allow you to receive the nutrients. So if your pancreas is not working properly, then you can't push the nutrients through your blood and you become a diabetic, and then your sugar levels become inadequate, meaning that they out of order, and then you start facing a disease. And then you go to a doctor, which is somebody that's practicing medicine, and you go to somebody that's practicing that's not even holistic, that don't even give you any type of acknowledgement from nature whatsoever, but only physical lab drugs, and you depend on them. But then you say you enlightened and you know God and you're a universal being or a god or a goddess, but you depend on somebody that's practicing. If this person really knew what they knew, would they be into a practice? That's a whole practice. So doctors practice. They don't heal nothing. So I'm definitely not going to somebody that practice. We know better than that. So people are the predecessors of their own demise, because lack of knowledge will cause you to decree in a lot of ways, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. You see what I'm saying? All of these are different emotional senses that you sense when you're facing distress. So some people want a lot of money. Some people want better health. Some people want a better life. Some people want a better soulmate. Everybody want different things, but they already have it. They just haven't opened their mind and their heart up to receive it. If your heart is not open, you definitely ain't going to reach enlightenment. One thing I do know is that your heart is 528, and that's the main frequency on the earth. So if your heart is not open and you don't accept everyone and everything in your heart, like people always say, things are evil, but they good, and things are evil, but they won't accept the evil, but they accept the good. If God created the universe, which he did, then everything in the universe is pretty much the same. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta accept the good, the evil, and everything. You can't so if you don't accept the evil, what you gonna do with it? Because you can't get rid of it. Where you gonna put it at? You see what I'm saying? So you gotta accept it, but you gotta know that it's not evil. It's a distortion. That's what it is. It's just that the energy is distorted, and the energy is programmed to be distorted and not to act out harmony and good vibes. That's what it is. So they trick you to believe evil exists only to create a mental construct of belief so they could fuck with your emotional system and control your emotions, and emotions control actions, actions control thoughts, thoughts control emotions, and emotions control actions. So if they putting evil in front of you, you're going to get thoughts of evil, and now they are playing with you to make you think that you are good and evil, and you have a duality of good and evil when you could just be good all the time, because it's just a distortion. So it just depends. If a person mind is distorted and they don't know any good and their heart is closed, they gonna be evil, because now they only operating from the negative sense of they bios of their energy. So you have negative, positive, and neutral. So if a person is distorted, they gonna operate from their negative sense. They not gonna be positive or neutral. Neutral mean that you took positive and negative and brought them together, and you understand that God created both dualities and that you are one duality in the same. So you accept the neutral path, and then you become one with the Creator. But when you choose to judge, you choose to judge the positive or you choose to judge the negative. So you separate yourself, because now you have you start separating yourself, and you have prejudiceness, and you have prejudiceness against something that was created that's in you already. So and it start creating segregation and separation. So now you segregating your own energy, and that's what happens. So a lot of people are not vibrating at the proper quantum fields that they supposed to, because they don't understand. They just being manipulated by what's around them. So as me being a light worker and the seeker of truth and everything, and a way shower, the path shower, to show you the truth, to actually wake your consciousness up to the real reality and not this false reality that you already been taught that is a reality. And a lot of people are very away from it because your body is not ready to accept the truth, because you still sleep. And that's all you know. And they won't understand what I'm saying, because they don't look into themselves. They hear it, yeah, he just saying whatever, and then they'll just back down, or they'll walk away and just do whatever. But then let them catch cancer or something happen to them, then they gonna be wish they would have heard the information, or they would have been enlightened at that point. When you have messages that's being given to you, a lot of times when you hear things that you are not familiar with, it's good to do research, and that means that that's your body waking up to a whole new way of thinking, because you been programmed to think a certain way, and it's time for you to wake up. Your body is wanting to shift. And your mind is wanting to shift. But if your emotion is not in the same alignment, it's not going to happen. So most people wouldn't even understand anyway. They won't understand the knowledge that I'm giving out. And the knowledge that I'm giving out is very, 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 very needed at this time. Because right now, people are being manipulated by different media groups, by different social groups, by different presidential campaigns and stuff like that, by presidents, by just manipulated by life, period. They don't have no guidance. They don't know where to go. They never was taught financial literacy. They don't know how to heal themselves. They don't know nothing about the body. They depend on the things that's killing them and not the things that help them. They believe that someone outside of themselves is going to come and help them and save them. So then they start looking for God when God been there the whole time. They just never listen. And that's the whole point that I'm making right now, is that they not listening. And that's when you know that people are brainwashed and that they are in the spell. They going through a spell, because metaphysics is words. So when you take meta and physical, you bring words into this reality, and then when you put words together, you create spells. So people are under spells because the words that they choose to take into their body without understanding of what they're saying. So most people are under the spell of words and don't even realize it. So it's going to be a task to help some people wake up to actually see the universal alignment, to where they could open up to a new consciousness and not waking up to the government order, not waking up to way things used to be, waking up to a clock. The 1320 is the real clock. That's the universal time. So if you're not waking up on the 1320, then that means that you waking up on in false time matrix, meaning that you waking up in the 1260, 12 seconds, 12 months in a year, and 60 minutes in an hour, and that means your biological clock is out of time. Your heart ain't even vibrating properly. So with that being said, we gonna cut it short. But we gonna get more into it. And next time I go live, I'll be back with another message. But this message right here was just a awakener to allow you to wake up. And the system is a new system that's created that we will be following. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to help a lot of you to shift your consciousness and shift your energy by waking you up to the energy. Like today, for instance, today's Tuesday. Today colors is red, pink, and burgundy. So them the colors you should be wearing today. And every day the colors change. So you gotta match your frequency with the flow of the energy. That's called the resonance. So the resonance is and the matter for today is metal, and the metal is iron, and the crystal is red coral. So the matter is metal and crystal, and the crystal is red coral, and the metal is iron. So the color is red, pink, burgundy. The metal is iron, and the crystal is red coral, and the herbs is bergamot, cinnamon, and sage. And the planet is Mars. That's the planet for today. And the chakra for today is the throat chakra. And the territory for today is the forest, the river, and the spring. Them the places where you want to be. And the frequency for today is 1152. And that's the frequency of the throat chakra. And the number for today is the number 9, because it's 9. It's 9 stages of creation, and it's 7 stages of development. So we go through development and creation, because the baby get developed at the 7th month, fully developed, and then at the 9th month, the baby is a full creation of the Most High. The baby get developed at 1 month, but fully developed at 7 months. Meaning that if a baby was born at 7 months, it could still live and sustain life. It's just that the cells in the body haven't fully developed yet. But the doshia for today is Pia, and the direction for today is the south direction. And the ruling sign for today is Aries. And the anatomy for today is muscular system in the arms. So today is a good day to take, the marrow. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. I was paying attention to something else. But it's the marrow, which is the bones, the bone marrow. That's actually the blood in the bones. So you want to start working on your marrow today. Today is a good day to take herbs and supplements to build up the marrow, the muscular system in the arms. So every day, these different variations would change. Today, the resonant numbers is 1, 2, and 3. The karmic lesson today is patience. And the mood for today is noble protector. So all of these are different attributes that will put you in alignment with the universal energy. And if you learn these, you definitely will put yourself in alignment with the biosphere, the universal flow of energy, and you would then have full enlightenment in your body, and you will prepare yourself to become immortal. And that's the whole point of coming to this reality, is to prepare yourself to be immortal in another time dimension, because you had to come here in order to reach your full level of consciousness, because this is the Tarot crystal, and in this reality, which is the earth, we able to actually experience the vibration of different elements at its physical form by taking molecules and making them physical by infusing energy and light and frequency into them, and actually being able to take the frequency, which is sound, and make the molecule take a shape. And your voice is the sound, and your cells are the molecules, and you're able to reshape your body with your tones of your mouth, because you can move molecules with sound. The Egyptians showed you how they built the pyramids, how they moved them big bricks and put them on top of each other using sound. So tones are vibrations. The first vibration is 528. The sound, so you have 528 is the vibration and 432 is the sound. Sound and vibration create this reality. And then you have light. And light is taking electrons, creating photons, and photons creating atoms, and atoms creating molecules, and molecules creating reality. So when you start understanding those things, my friend, you become enlightened. And to then, number 22, Q and Neil. Look me up. Q and Neil. Q-A-N-I-L. Look me up. I'm the way shower. Number 22. Master builder. The light. The paradigm. The grand architect. So I definitely created a whole new system. And not only that, I taught you the Mayans calendar, which is the solar system. So with the systems that we create, and it allow you to be synchronized. So don't follow my system just because I say so. Follow it because you understand it metaphysically, astrologically, quantumly. So all of these are different levels that you need to understand. And with my system, you will have full understanding of those things. So until then, peace, love, and light. Bye now.